Good morning and welcome. My name is Lesley Anderson. I'm one of the co-owners of Boho Yoga, and this is Gentle Yoga. Thank you so mumuch for joining me. Today's practice is going to be an ankle-free practice. This one is specifically for my girl Sandra, who hurt her ankle, so I wanted to create this practice for her. So most of the practice will be on the ground, and find a comfortable seat and we'll get started. Well, I've got a blanket that I'm sitting on here. You can also roll up a mat. You can sit on a chair, wherever you're comfortable today. Find a moment, create a moment for yourself here. And tune in and just observe. Observe inside. What are the general sensations that you're feeling in this moment? Do you have any areas of pain or discomfort? Any areas that you feel a tension or a pull? Or do you feel light and good? Different areas of the body might have a different response to that. I'm just taking a moment to tune in, to listen. And as you scan through the body, observe the movement of the breath, the changing anatomy as you breathe. And give yourself permission over these next few moments here to relax. And greeting the breath like an old friend, welcoming its presence from the very beginning of the inhale all the way up to the top and to the bottom of the exhale. Like a hug from the inside. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart center. And as you lift the heart, gently bow the head. In acknowledgement of the teacher within, have great gratitude for all that you have in this moment and all that you have that works. Our practice here is a celebration of the physical body. We use this celebration through movement, through awareness, through concentration, and to act as a metaphor, and to allow us to see things in a different way, on and off the mat. So before we begin, take a moment to just honor where your body is at in this moment. And as you see yourself kind of at the end of your practice, so imagine yourself sitting here once again, and we've completed our practice. And see that self, that future self, having honored yourself throughout your practice. Lingering in shapes when you need to, adding on extras when you'd like, or backing off when you need to. And then we can release the hands. We'll take a full breath together. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more just like that. Inhale and exhale. If you'd like to join me for an opening Om, we'll take another deep breath in for Om now. allowing the residue of the sacred sound just to wash over you. On your inhale, sweep the hands up and overhead. You can keep the hands wide if the neck and shoulders are tight. Lengthen both sides of the body. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release the hands. Take them gently behind the back and interlace them. Lift the heart. On an exhale, release the hands to the knees or the thighs and start some seated circles, Sufi rolls. Note the pattern that you're creating here with the movement and the breath. It doesn't have to be one breath per circle, but just notice what your pattern is. Try and note the very subtle heat that you're starting to build through the body with these circles, from the gentle movement in the ankles, the movement in the knees, the movement in the hips, the spine, the shoulders, and the head. So as you see yourself moving in this direction, slowly come to stillness. Feel the residue of that. And then slowly start to take your circles in the opposite direction. And feel free to take your time or make these as big or as fast as you like. Continue to scan through the body. If you're noticing that you once again start to hold tension in the face or the jaw, try and actively give yourself permission to let that release. We'll slowly find stillness. And observe. I'll make one request here through your practice. But if you notice that your body is holding tension and you softly release that with the breath and with awareness, thank the body at the same time for holding that for you. Oftentimes we tend to get mad at ourselves or angry with ourselves for holding on to tension, and it's the body's way of trying to assist you to getting it out of the head. And so we can thank the body for its work for us. Here, we'll take the legs out wide. You may need to keep a bend in the knees, or you may need to keep a strong elevation of the hips. We'll let the hands come on the inside of the legs. On an inhale, lift the heart and the chest, and on an exhale, slowly walk the hands. On the very bottom of your exhale, we're going to make these a little bit more active. So then inhale and walk the hands back. And exhale, walk the hands forward. 2 more times. Inhale to walk the hands back, lift the heart. Keep the spine long if you can. And exhale, walk the hands forward. Inhale to walk the hands back. Good. As you lengthen the spine, we're gonna turn over. Let's go to our right side first. And lift the head and the chest and fold over just that right leg. Walking the hands and folding the chest as you like. Take 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, lift the head and chest and walk through centers or sides. Lengthen and fold. And sometimes my body needs just a little bit of movement, like if I feel like things are really stuck. So feel free to add that in as well. The mind begins to wander, just very gently and kindly bring it back into the body. Inhale to lift. And then Boho Konasana will bring the soles of the feet together as best we can. So if this does hurt your ankles, feel free to stagger the feet. Find gentle traction through the spine. And here we'll find a little bit of movement with the knees. Butterfly. I always think of this as just adding in an element of play to my practice. This feels good, it feels playful. And then finding stillness, gently press the thighs and the shins down equally towards the ground. And then go ahead and draw the knees up. Take your hands behind the knees, below the knees, and then round the back. And then inhale, go ahead and lift the chest. And exhale to round the back. One more. And exhale. Inhale to the neutral side. And we'll swing the legs around and make our way into all fours. Here, find some cat and cow movements. Inhale to lift the chest, lift the tailbone, draw the upper arms back, and as you exhale, round. And on an inhale, repeat, and an exhale to round. Inhale to your neutral spine, and then walk the hands forward. So feel free to pop up to the fingertips or have the hands flat, and sit the hips back. Finding puppy pose. Resting the heart down, resting the head. Sometimes I'll place a blanket or a block underneath my head. And other times I'll rest my forehead or my chin. Good. And then here, come onto the belly. Take a moment to lengthen the legs back behind you. And let's take the hands by the sides. On an inhale, start to peel the chest up very gently. Walk the fingertips back towards the toes. Start by pressing the toenails into the mat. And gently lift or engage the quads, the kneecaps gently lift away from the ground, and then lift your legs. Lift the chest just a little bit more. Feel the shoulder blades drawing towards each other. And then exhale to release and relax. Turn one cheek to the side. Shimmy the hips. Let the body relax. Full round of breath. Good. And then inhale to switch sides. And gently peeling the chest up, walking the fingertips back. And pressing the toenails into the mat. And then I'll lift my legs today. Lifting my heart a little bit more and finding a full breath or two at the top. And so feeling a gentle strength through the whole back of the legs, the low back, and the upper back. As you exhale, lower down, turn your opposite cheek to the side. This time, bend your knees and gently windshield wiper your feet side to side. Good. You find stillness. This can be very good for the knees. Just gently kick back and forth the legs. Just giving some gentle movement through the knees. And then relax the legs down. Hands underneath the shoulders and press to all fours again. From all fours, we'll thread the needle. You may need to support yourself with some props here. So actually, let's see, best way for me to demonstrate might be on this side. I'm gonna inhale to peel my right hand up and then exhale to thread the arm underneath me. So if this is really challenging, you might take a blanket or a block underneath the head and rest the head there. We're finding a gentle rotation through the spine. It might not feel quite so gentle. It's a little more than like a seated twist. I'm gonna really extend my right hand forward, and then I'm adjusting that left hand wherever I need to just feel supported. I feel like I'm encouraging this twist. And 2 more breaths. And as you're ready, bring that left hand underneath the shoulder and inhale to unfurl. And then we'll switch sides. And I'm going to switch so that I can continue to see. Inhale to peel your second hand up. And then exhale to thread. This side might need a completely different adjustment than that first side, so feel free to honor where this side is at. And relaxing the jaw and the head. And breathing along that rotation of the spine, just vision the movement of the spine in this shape. And when you feel about equal on both sides, we'll take the right hand underneath the shoulder and inhale to uncurl. And then exhale, coming back down. Here. I'm gonna come back onto my seat. Extending my, let's see, I won't mirror you this time. I'm gonna extend my left leg. I'm gonna lift my right leg up. I'm gonna cradle that right leg. Here. Move some movement into that hip socket. So then I'm gonna cross that right ankle over my left thigh. You can flex the foot or you can have the foot relaxed. And then just gently press that right thigh down. If you need more, you can take your left leg, and bend it and cross it underneath. Further that's out, and less intense they'll be. I guess it depends on your knees. So here. Oh, the other option is just bending the knee like this. One more inhale. And exhale. And release. If you can flex and point the toes. You can't really see my toes. There we go. And maybe some ankle circles, if that's okay for you. And then switching sides. I'm going to support this foot. Maybe I'll grab the ankle here. As I open up the hip. So really just visioning that femur kind of moving around in the hip socket. We don't often get to move through that full range of motion, so this can be a really nice way to add in some mobility there. Then as you're ready, we'll cross the upper ankle, so just above the ankle over the thigh. Feel free to stay right here. And again, if you want more, you can bend the knee up and cross the foot underneath you, if that's accessible to you. And about 3 to 5 more breaths here. You choose to fold forward gently. Just try and keep length in the spine. Lead with your heart and try and keep the back body long. Very nice. As we uncross the legs, I'm gonna bend the knees and very gently find some internal and external rotation. So adjust your feet as you need to do this. And here. Slowly lower onto my back. So I am trying to just turn on a little bit of core strength here. As slow as I can, your feet might lift at some point. And then on your back, go ahead and draw your knees over your hips. You can take your hands out to the sides. And then knees and shins about hip width apart. Drop both knees over to your right side. And then as you exhale, take the legs back up through center. So we're using the obliques and the core here. The lower that you drop or the closer to the ground you get, the more challenging it's going to be. And the closer your heels are to your butt, the easier it will be too. The more that you keep them out, more challenging it will be. So we're going to do 3 of these on each side. Inhale. Exhale. Mm-hmm. Drawing the knees into the chest. Then pull the knees wide gently towards the armpits. Rock along the low back. And keep holding on to the right leg. Extend the left leg down. Another round of breath. Then one more inhale. And as you exhale, switch legs. Sucking in, deep breaths. One more full round of breath. And then inhale again. And as you exhale, switch sides. Good, repeat, so 2 breaths. Then one more inhale. And use the exhale to help engage the core as we switch sides. 2 breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, switch sides. Nice, this time. And take the hands around the back of your right leg and extend the right leg up towards the sky as much as you can. So if it feels okay for you, you can transition through pushing through the toes and pushing through the heels. You can also take some ankle circles here if that feels good, or you can just stay in stillness. Now, if your hands can't interlace behind the thigh, you can always take a strap or a shirt or something and hold that right around the thigh. Again, it's taken a long time for my leg to even get this straight. For many years it was like this, so if that's where you're at, know that that's part of the process. You're not broken. And then I'm gonna deeply bend that right knee in towards the armpit. And then using a little bit of resistance, I'm gonna extend again. Just one more time like that. Deeply bend the right knee out to the right. And then re-extend. Awesome. Then I'm going to bend that right knee and come into just a gentle twist to start. And do another twist at the end of our practice. Right here. You might take it just halfway to start with, stretching more the outside of the hip and the glute on that right side. Gaze can be neutral, or you can look over to the right. And then 3 breaths. Rolling onto the back. Take an inhale. And then brace the spine, the core, exhale. Switch sides. Very nice. If you need to adjust your hips, feel free. And then extend that left leg up towards the sky. You can take a moment to point and flex the heel if that feels okay in your body. It might feel okay on one side and not the other. That's fine too. If you'd like, you can take some ankle circles or just stay stationary. About 3 more breaths here. And then deeply bend that left knee towards the left armpit. And then with a little resistance, trying to lengthen again. And then repeat. Hands can help. And extend. And this time bend the knee and then come into your gentle twist. And over the next few breaths, you can continue to adjust the body a little bit to just create more space. Continue to communicate. And then rolling on to the back. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, both knees in. Okay, draw some little circles with your knees here. Switching sides. And then you can roll to one side and press yourself up to a seat, or you can rock up to a seat. And then once we're in our seat, lengthen the crown of the head upwards towards the sky, and then drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. You can take the right hand out to the right. You bend the elbow, placing it behind the back, and then playing with the position of the chin. You want to make this deeper. That left hand can come to the right temple. But you don't just want to pull the head down. You want the head to gently push against the hand. And take 3 breaths. As you inhale, take the head back up through center, and then switch sides. This side might need something different. About 3 breaths. As you inhale, come through center. Bring the hands to the knees and begin some seated cat and cows. And from a neutral spine, actually, I'm going to sit on a blanket here. That's going to make me more comfortable. I'm going to sit on my blanket. And because I tend to have my feet crossed one way, I'm going to switch my legs this time. Inhale, hands up and overhead. And as you exhale, twist over to your first side. Using the breath to slowly help you develop more traction, more space. But in doing so, still trying to keep the muscles of the face relaxed. So if you twist it over to your left side, then we're going to pick up the right hand. If you twist it over to your right side, then you're going to pick up your right hand. On an inhale, lift your arm and cross it over the body, grabbing the opposite thigh. Then draw the chin into the chest and round the back. And then on an inhale, take Garudasana, eagle arms. We're bending the elbows, drawing the forearms towards each other. They might come to a bind, they might not. You might just think about squeezing the forearms towards each other. Gently lift the elbows and feel the shoulder blades kind of draw down towards the ground. Like you can move the hands a few inches away from the face. And then 2 more breaths here. And then release. I'm going to take some shoulder blade circles, getting some movement in there. And then switching sides. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, twist. Second side. About 3 to 5 breaths, depending on how long your breath is. And twisting. We don't need to twist to our full capacity here. We still want to maintain a long breath. We still want to gently ease into these rotations. You might feel a greater sense of release going slower than if you try and go right to that end point to start with. And then switching our sides, or coming back to our eagle arms here. So if you are twisted over to the right, we're going to pick up the right hand. Inhale and cross it over the body. Neutralize the spine a little bit, round the back. And then on your inhale, we'll lengthen the spine and come into eagle arms, our second side. So once again, actually I didn't give you this option on the first side, but sometimes just hugging, like this, walking opposite arms to opposite shoulder blades can feel really nice. Into our eagle arms, wherever our body will allow us to get on this side. And staying in the sensations of the body, just observe, what does this shape do to the feelings and the sensations, all the way from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, go ahead and release. And then we're going to do some shoulder blade circles, but both at the same time. Good, then take the hands out to the sides. And keeping the neck and shoulders relaxed, we're going to do these little arm circles. And then turn the thumbs up towards the sky. Thumbs up. Really extending out, feeling a gentle tone at the bottom of the upper arms here. And try and find that extension while drawing the belly button towards the spine and lengthening out through the crown of the head. Good. Keep the neck and the jaw relaxed. This is challenging. We'll hold here another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I'm releasing the hands. I'm going to do some big shoulder circles. Up and around. And then go back the other way. Feel that extension here, that strength of the back of the arm. And then rotate the hand all the way up. Okay. Switching sides. Turn the palm away, big circle. Extend back behind you. And around. Nice, hands to heart. And draw the wrists down towards the ground. Lift the heart. And now turn the fingertips away from you, down towards the ground, and then lift the wrist gently towards the heart. Nice, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release the hands, make some wrist circles. And take the back of the hands together and then drop the elbows. So you can even wiggle the fingers. Cool. Take the hands in front of you. Let's do the right wrist on top of the left, and then turn the palms towards each other, interlace the hands, and take the hands down, up and through. Go as much as feels comfortable for you. Full round of breath. And then release the hands, keep them interlaced, and come right back through again. Nice. Do you see how that shape, or feel how that shape impacts the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the neck? And pull and release. Okay. Switching sides. Left wrist on top of right, and then turn the palms towards each other. Interlace the hands here. And then hands come down, towards you, and through. Take a round of breath. Then release, but keep the hands interlaced. And pull back. Another round of breath. Release. Take the fingers, spread them wide, and then slowly each knuckle pops. Make your big fist. And release. Nice. Now take your hands and do little taps. First, below the eyeballs, right along the sinuses. My allergies are really bothering me today, so this feels so good. So tender. Just acknowledging, breathing through it. Being a yogic person and someone who practices yoga, yogi, doesn't mean that we don't experience all of the same feelings and pains. It's just that we try to acknowledge in the moment that, hey, this is the feeling, this is exactly what it feels like. I'm taking my tapping down into my chest. You know, this is a great practice for this time of year. Just tapping across the lungs. And as you tap here, feel the lungs expand. And imagine the lungs being filled with a quality of white light. Tell yourself you're strong and you're healthy because you are continuing to practice in this way, that you're continuing to send this energy to yourself. Nice. Then go ahead and release your left hand and use your right hand to continue to tap right above the heart. And then release the right hand down. Take a few rounds of breath. Feel the residue of that tapping practice. And then we'll extend the legs out again. Let's get back so you can see a little bit better. Hi, Ramā. And then I'm gonna take little fists. And now I'm just gonna work my hands up my thighs, down towards my knees, and then the outsides. Good way to get some blood flow. I'm going to take my legs a little bit wide and get the inside of my legs. And then I'm going to take the legs back and work down towards the calves. You may need to bend your knees to get there. The outsides of the shins, the lateral part of the calf, and then we go to the inside, the medial part of our calf, and peroneals. Here's my peroneals. Are on the other side. Don't worry about that. Nice. Then take your feet and use gentle fists to massage the bottoms of your feet. Around the ankles. Okay. And then release. Legs can be wherever they feel comfortable. And now opposite arms are going to gently hit the shoulders and down the upper arms. I'm gonna go to one side at a time. I'm gonna continue on my left side, so my right hand is gonna keep going. I'm gonna go down into my forearm and then to the outside of my shoulder. Back down to my forearm. Turn your palm up to the inside of the forearm and then into the palm. Gentle pounding. Nice. Into the fingers. And here, a little pressure point, we're going to take the right hand and just gently squeeze between the thumb and the index finger there. Try and support the hands as you do that. Full round of breath. And I like to massage through the hand a little bit there, so through my thumbs. The time of this filming, we're right in the middle of our coronavirus epidemic, and many of us are spending more time in front of a screen than we ever have. So, you know, acknowledging what kind of an impact that has on your hands, on your shoulders, on your neck. Our practice today can be to help to mitigate some of that effort and energy that we need to have for those practices. So just release that left hand. Just breathe into that left side. You might feel kind of a tingling sensation, blood coming back. And then switching sides. So that left hand, you're going to come this all the way down the forearm. Outside of the shoulder. Down. Turn the palm up or down, whichever side you didn't get. When you're ready, you go into the palm, thumbs and fingers. Take a moment and find your pressure point. Stress relieving pressure point right there through the thumb and index finger. You can always take more breaths here if you need to. Okay. And just massage through the thumb, fingers, and the wrist. Just release that right hand down and watch, using your creative imagination, the blood, the breath flowing back into that right side. And feel free to move your seat around if you need to. We'll move into some gentle neck exercises. Actually, you know, I haven't done these from all fours for a while, and that's just a different way to do these. So you can do these seated, or you can join me in all fours for a different position here. And then I'm gonna really try and position my head. It takes effort, it takes strength to position my head so that it's right in line with the rest of my spine. So oftentimes we're gonna drop the head down forward. And now we're going to resist gravity and use the muscles of the back of our neck to contract to hold the head up there. Good. And then we're going to try and keep that contraction at the back of the neck as we gently turn our gaze to one side, going as far as you can. And then come back through center. And once again, you might try and lift the back of the head up towards the sky and then look over to the other side. Back through center. We'll do that one more time on each side. So lifting the back of the head up, keep that contraction, look. Right or left. And back through center. And then switch sides. Lifting through center. Now draw the chin into your chest here. And inhale. Take the gaze up towards the sky. Don't take the tailbone with it this time. Just try and move the head, and even spread the chest. Exhale, draw the chin into the chest. And then without arching the back hard, try and come up towards the sky. So I'm just going to do one more wrist stretch since I'm here, turning the fingertips of one hand back towards the toes. The breath there. And switching sides. Sometimes it's cool to play with kind of wiggling the fingers as you do that. Okay, so now here, I'll come back into puppy pose. I want to offer a variation. If you do have a blanket, you can also use blocks here. You take the rolled up, oh, and sometimes I'll use a foam roller, which can be nice. I'm gonna take a rolled up, elevated something in front of me, and then thumbs turning up towards the sky. My forearms are on my elevation here, and then I'm going to drop my heart as much as I can. You might need to place something underneath your forehead, underneath your heart, and take 3 breaths. And then as you slowly come out of that shape, we're going to come back onto our stomach. This time we'll extend the arms out in front. Lift one leg at a time and lengthen it away from you. Good. Then opposite arm and leg. So identify your right leg and your left hand. And on an inhale, start to lift the right leg from the thigh. Lift the whole leg as a unit. Good. And then lift the left hand. Take a breath at the top. Exhale to lower. And then switch sides. Left thigh lifts, the glute gently squeezes on that side. Inhale to lengthen the opposite arm, and exhale to lower. Then one more on each side. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Opening up the chest. You can take that right arm at a 90-degree angle. You can extend it out to the side. If you're more advanced and you want to try for a bind, you can turn the palm up towards the sky. And then you can also change the angle of that arm in relation to the torso for where you might need it. So extending the right arm out, we're now going to take our left hand and tent it into the body. So tenting it, I just mean come up to the fingertips. And then you're going to roll over to the right side. My hips are stacking. You might take that left leg over the right side of the body, or you can just lift the legs and then just stack on top of each other. Sometimes I'll place a block or something underneath my head. Today I'm just going to use my strength to hold my head up, but relax the muscles of the jaw. And one more round of breath. And roll onto the stomach and I'll switch sides. Realize I was turned away from you, so you might not have been able to hear me, but maybe you saw me better. I'm going to take my left hand out to the left, tent my right fingers in, and then roll over to that left side. Just as much as you need for that side. You can play with where you position that right leg. In the head, you can use your strength to hold it up, or you can relax it all the way down. So to me, this left side feels so much tighter. So if that's the case for you, always feel free to observe that and linger, need the bottom of the exhale, and come back through center. And then Sphinx pose, elbows underneath the shoulders. I'm gonna lengthen my legs back again. And then gently pull the chest through the column of the arms. You know, if you know that that you've been kind of turtling your head forward, then use this as another opportunity to really use the strength of the back of the neck to help lift the head without contracting the muscles of the face and soft eyes. Try not to dump into the shoulders, but use the forearms to gently press yourself away. And observe how this lengthens the front of the body. When you're getting a stretch along the belly here along the chest. You know, if you're pregnant, placing a rolled up blanket underneath the hips can make this shape more accessible, and then you might pop up to your fingertips or wherever you need. And we'll take the hands underneath the shoulders. I'm gonna loop the shoulders back and down, lift into a little bigger back bend. Lower, press to my knees. Little child's pose here. And the knees can be narrow or wide in child's pose, and if it bothers the knees, you can always keep the hips lifted and remain in puppy pose like we were earlier. And take 5 breaths here. And breathing into the back of the lungs. And trying to just let gravity take over and feeling just the natural weight of your hips, the wonderful weight of your hips, lowering down towards the ground. The weight of your head is there too, releasing tension throughout the body. Good. And then as you're ready, we'll take this into a side stretch. So walking the hands over to the right side. Yeah, whatever side you want to start with. I'm going to go to my right side and stretch the left side of my body first. The hands might stack here. You can also tent up to that right hand. Maybe roll gently open. Explore the shape. See what you need to get a nice long stretch without creating any tension. Creating any stress in the body. You might keep this at more of like a 2 to 3 rather than trying to take this stretch all the way to like a 10. Sometimes the hardest thing for us to do on a daily basis is to just slow down. Is to just take things a little easier. Let it inhale. Lift the head and chest, and then we'll walk through center and switch sides. And staying within the sensations of the body, really use the breath, use your creative imagination to see the breath moving into the areas of the body that we're focusing on. And from here, we'll come up through center and make our way onto a seat. So here, once again, we're gonna work on some core strength. As we slowly lower onto our backs as best we can. You know, and sometimes if we're really working on this, sometimes it's nice to have the feet elevated. As you lower down, it can be a little easier sometimes. But then we're gonna plant the feet just a little bit wider than the hips, and the knees fall in towards each other. Now, if you have a block at home, feel free to lift your hips and place a block right underneath your sacrum, like this. And then walk the feet wide and draw the knees in, which can be a really nice release for the low back. Sometimes if I don't have a block, I'll use a foam roller. I'll use a blanket rolled up. There's lots of things we can do with what we have. The hands can rest wherever they feel most comfortable. And take 5 breaths here. Observing that with the knees gently knocking in towards each other. Remember, they don't have to touch. They just need to just find that energy in. That creates a gentle lengthening along the low back, along the sacrum, an area that many of us are often very tight. So we can thank this part of our body for holding tension for us. And then whether you have a block or not, we'll walk the feet about hip width apart, and then we'll take the knees over the hips. So if you have a block and need to readjust it, feel free. And then take both legs up towards the sky. Now, if you'd prefer, at home, you can pause and take a moment to set yourself up against a wall if you'd like to take legs up the wall pose. Or oftentimes I'll pull a chair or a couch close to me and I'll just bend my knees and place my feet on there to get a nice release of the low back. Otherwise, you can extend the legs up towards the sky in the middle of the room. Feel the just gravity, letting the blood from the toes come back into the hips. No effort. Have a little ant on my heel. I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna take my little ant friend. Little ant friend. I'll put you outside later, but sit you up to the side. Thank you, my little ant friend. I'm gonna plant the feet with my hips. Forward. And first little Shavasana here, just taking a rest. Body is heavy. And then we're going to gently hug the knees into the chest once more. And then my final twist here, I'm going to release my hands and then I'm going to let both legs fall over to one side. So here the legs can stack or you can stagger the legs. And if you want a little help, you can take a blanket underneath the legs or the thighs. Come out of the frame. So both legs over wherever you need. It might change. Option to take the arms out to the sides. You want to encourage this twist a little bit more. And then as you push into the back of the head, and gently lift the shoulder blades and shimmy your right shoulder blade over to the right and your left shoulder blade a little bit more to the left. You can continue looking over to the right, straight ahead, or if you want to add some rotation into the cervical spine, you can gently look over to the left. And take 5 more breaths. And staying within the sensations of the body, how does this shape affect you? And using the bottom of the exhale, coming through center. And then we'll switch sides. So I need to readjust my hips first, and then I'm going to take my blanket that I was using over to the other side. And drawing my knees in towards my chest, adjusting my hips, and then letting both legs fall over to now my left side. If you liked that little assist that we did earlier, and gently pressing into the back of the head to lift the shoulder blades and shimmy that left shoulder blade over to the left and the right one over to the right. And gaze can be wherever it feels most comfortable on this side. About 5 more breaths here. Are you still noticing that you're inhaling and exhaling? How does a twist affect the breath? And as we come through center, hug the knees into the chest one more time here. Option for a happy baby, bending the knees, grabbing maybe the ankles or the outsides of the feet, and gently drawing down with the hands. And then I'm going to do just a little bit of a cobbler's pose. So if this feels okay for your ankles, you can bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the sides. And if this causes a lot of pressure, feel free to place blocks underneath you or just extend the legs out. And trying to find just a little bit of movement in the hips. So I'll usually place my hands on my hip points and try and draw them down towards my toes and then back towards my nose. Inhale. So finding anterior and posterior pelvic movements. So we want to make sure that the hips and the low back are mobile. Otherwise they get really locked up and tight. And then if you can here, this is kind of a little funny, drawing the hips in circles, which I feel like the first couple times that I did this, I don't feel like I had any movement at all. And now I can feel like my hips are actually moving in a circle. And so about 2 to 3 circles, 3 to 4 circles in each direction. And interesting. So there, you can shimmy it out, extend the legs, take the feet. And then if there's any other finishing poses that you need for your own practice, you can pause this and take a moment to do so. And then when you're ready, I'll take our Shavasana. If you need to make yourself comfortable, feel free to cover yourself with a little blanket or put on an additional layer. You have a sandbag on the hips can also be really nice and grounding here. And just observe. What we were saying a moment ago about our yoga practice, doesn't make the world automatically better. It doesn't always make us feel better. It just makes us better at observing what the feelings that we're having are. We're able to increase our vocabulary about our emotional state, about our physical state as well. The more that we observe and inquire. There are so many times that our brain will automatically tell us, like, I don't know why I feel this way, I don't know why, or how this feels. And the more that we can quiet that part of the mind, the more that we can offer ourselves the opportunities to seek the answers that we wish to have, the more opportunities we'll have to come up with those. And acknowledging what the sensations or what the feelings are isn't always comfortable. In fact, sometimes it's really uncomfortable. But if we can describe these feelings a little bit more, they become a little bit more bearable. If I'm going through moments of grief and sorrow, if I'm going through moments of anger or pain, if I can sit with that emotion and give it a name, if I can understand what's happening physically in my body as I'm experiencing an emotion, the emotion starts to have less of a grip on you. I become more of an observer of my emotional state. And creating that space between the experiencer and the observer. And creates a lot of calm in the mind. It allows us to feel a little bit more in control. And we become more aware of when it passes. The human condition is one full of all of these emotional states, and that's part of the beauty of being given a human experience. So understanding the rainbow of emotions that exist in the world allow the highs to be a little higher and the lows to be a little bit more transient, I guess is what I'll say there. Rest in the moment. Begin to feel the weight of the feet separate from the rest of the body. You feel the weight of both your shins and your calves, the bones of the leg. And feel the weight of the thighs, femur bones. Noting the effect of gravity just gently pulling down. And if you're still pulling the belly button in towards the spine, release the belly. Let the full circumference of your torso take up its natural space without apologizing for it. You feel the rhythm of the inhales and the exhales expanding through the body, allowing the organs to rest a little more. And observe the weight of the hands separate from the rest of the body. The weight of the forearms and the upper arms. And relax the throat and feel the weight of the brain heavy at the back of the skull. Relaxing between the eyebrows, cheeks. And even feeling the circumference of your throat expand as it relaxes. Observing yourself outside of yourself. As you breathe, imagine that with each breath, you're surrounding yourself with a white light. Creating a gentle shield around you through your own intention and energy. And if there's any area of your body that is experiencing any pain, Bring that into your mind's eye and flood that area with light, with the breath. You know, and even neuroscience is showing us that as we think about different areas of the body, those begin to highlight with more activity. So we can see ourselves, begin to heal ourselves, becoming an active part of our own journey. Feel free to pause this video and stay here as long as you need. When you're ready, begin to gently deepen your breath. Take a few moments. Try not to come out of this too quickly. If you'd like, you can reach your hands up overhead, full body stretch. You can rock yourself up to a seat, or once again, draw the knees in, roll to one side, and press yourself up to a seat. Keep the eyes heavy for a moment, keeping the residue of our practice. Keep my blanket. And then observe the post-practice. While gently lengthening the spine and finding that soft space across the heart. The head resting on top of the spine. Om Ganganeshaya Namaha. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. I'll invite you to bring into your mind's eye the image of Ganesh. And those who've been in my class before know that he's very special to me. The remover of obstacles. I think he can be very special to all of us. As we envision this man's body with an elephant head, his imagery reminds us that in order to use the tools that we have at our disposal to overcome the obstacles that we have, we must use the power of our big ears, the power of listening. We must use the power of our big brain, inquiring within to find the answers that we seek. And with our small mouth, the power to choose our words wisely. The knowledge that we'll speak truth when we can, and avoiding talk that might be cruel, even if it is true, by keeping silent when we need. These are things that I know I always need to work on, and I'll offer them to you for this practice as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is such a pleasure to practice with you. I hope to see you on the mat again soon. May this practice help you to find peace and joy in all things. Until next time. Namaste, friends.